Eucratides I was an important Greco-Bactrian king. He had overthrown the Euthydemid dynasty of Bactria and restored the Diodotid dynasty of Diodotus I, and had allied to the Parthian Empire. Eucratides fought against the easternmost Hellenistic and Indian rulers in India, holding territory in the Indus and as far as Barigaza until he was finally defeated by Menany and pushed back to Bactria. Eucratides minted a vast and prestigious coinage, suggesting a rule of considerable importance and prosperity. Eucratides came to power by overthrowing the Euthydemid dynasty in Bactria, possibly when the king, Demetrius, was conquering northwest India. His son, Heliocles I, was the father of Heliocles II, who was the last Greek king to rule in Bactria, as Yuezhi and Saka nomads overran the country c. 100 BC. Eucratides, who rose in revolt and drove the Demetrian family out of Bactria, was succeeded by his parricide son, Heliocles. This is indicated by the provenance of coins and by the unilingual legends on an early type of Heliocles. It is admitted that the coins issued in Bactria bore only Greek legends. Barring Plato and Eucratides II, who were subordinate rulers, he was the last Greek king to rule north of the Hindukush, and is believed to have been driven south by the Sakas, who imitated his coin types. Wherever the Saka nomads went, they copied the coin types of the supplanted rulers. Thus he was Eucratides' successor in Bactria. Commemorative medallions of Eucratides II indicate that his father's name was Heliocles. Among the Greeks, the grandfather and the eldest grandson generally bore the same name. Hence our belief that Heliocles, the successor of Eucratides in Bactria, was the eldest grandson of Heliocles and Laodike of Eucratides. Commemorative medallions, i.e. he was Eucratides' eldest son. Probably the one who is stated to have assassinated him, driven his chariot over his dead body and ordered the corpse to be cast away unburied. Eucratides II was a successor and probably a son of Heliocles and grandson of Eucratides II. He ruled for a very short time after the murder of Eucratide I. As senior Eucratide returned from India, he was killed on the way back, presumably by his son Heliocles, whom he had associated to his rule. Plato and Eucratides II, whose Bactrian, i.e. unilingual, coins have come down to us, appear to have been Heliocles' contemporaries. The small areas with which their coin types connect them, as also the scarcity of their types, indicate that they were only subordinate rulers. Their suzerain at this period could only be Heliocles. First suggested by Baer, the existence of a Eucratides, a younger brother or son of Heliocles, is now generally admitted by scholars. Other things apart, the resemblance of the youthful features and his type on a tetradrachm with those of Heliocles is so striking that it is impossible not to agree with the conclusions of Professor MacDonald. And the title sorter of the youthful Eucratides on a number of newly discovered coins leaves idle room for doubt about his existence. If Eucratides I had adopted this title in his youth, he would certainly have used it in his later coins, especially on those where Dioscuro the savior god's figure. Moreover, the engineering of conspiracy that led to the access of Eucratides I could hardly have been conceived and successfully executed by a man so young as portrayed on this set of coins. Eucratides II may have preceded Plato as the sub-king of Bactria. He is in no way connected with India. His youthful portraits indicate that he died young, most probably during the lifetime of Heliocles.